I know you hear this a lot, but this could change everything. A new perspective on Bitcoin puts the cycle, what we're expecting, what we're looking for, into a brand new context. You saw it on the thumbnail. I'm going to jump into it. We're going to get into the details. As we do, this is a perspective that I found that I haven't totally flushed out, but I wanted to share with you because it's interesting. We're all pretty much just submitted to Bitcoin does the same thing. Every 4 years we see this, every 4 years we see that. And that is largely based on Bitcoin USD, Bitcoin versus the dollar. The cycles that we know, all-time highs come every 4 years. From the cycle high to the cycle low, it's a year. And so far, it seems to be on track. But while I was just messing around, amongst other things, I noticed that maybe the dollar isn't the asset to base the cycles on. Maybe there are other assets that, when compared to Bitcoin, would give us a different picture, or a picture that at least is a little more bullish. We'll see. So what we have here is something you guys have seen before and something that we've broken down many times. This is just Bitcoin versus gold throughout its history. An interesting element of the Bitcoin versus gold chart is the lows. The cycle lows here are pretty gradual. These aren't actually perfectly fit, and when they are, it starts to look something around 84, 85%, 75% in our last cycle from our cycle high to low, meaning Bitcoin lost 75% of its value versus gold. It lost 85% of its value versus gold in the previous cycle. And when you look to today, there's some interesting things. One, we're at a 70% retracement. That was the low of February. 70% is in line with that diminishing downside that we saw just on the chart a second ago, from 76 in the previous cycle to potentially 70 here. What's interesting about this is it might be one of the only things suggesting that the bottom is in. It doesn't really make sense when you think about it in our typical Bitcoin USD 4-year cycle parameter. But there's some interesting stuff here, and I'm sure as we go into this more, I'm going to find even things I wasn't aware of even earlier today as we started this. So I'm going to jump into it, but while I do this and before I do this, thanks for being here. Happy Friday. Is it Friday again? Holy shit, time's flying. Happy Friday. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share, hype up the live stream. It's a little bit of a quiet day, and I think this is the perfect content for a quiet day. By the way, random little tidbit here. This is the first live stream on the new internet, so please be very critical. Share any hiccups in the stream that you notice, buffering, I don't know, audio, anything that goes on. So far, I've tested this connection last night and this morning, and we are able to run at 1440p at 60 FPS. We weren't doing that before with zero issues. I got 5G fiber, way too much fiber. But the stability of the connection is really why I got it, and it's so far already impressing me. Anyway, so make sure you hit the like button, subscribed, say hello, all that stuff. I'm going to go into this a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it to you guys, and I want to see what you think about this. I know we've seen this chart before, but what I like about it is actually a few things. Bitcoin versus gold here also throughout the last 5 years, whatever it is, looks a lot more like another chart we're familiar with. And that would be what, like total 2? Basically altcoins, right? Almost all the major altcoins did something like this in the last 5 years, where they had an all-time high in 21. They barely broke it in 25, and then they retraced. And so that might have some parallels that we can check into as well. But here, let's start with the stuff that I already checked out and find really interesting. So one of the reasons this is very different, I was talking about the bottom potentially being in, at least via this chart. What we know of the cycles is usually from the all-time high to the bear market low, it's about 365 days, about a year. This is good enough for now. It's about 1 year. The interesting part of why this chart changes that dynamic so much is because gold versus Bitcoin topped out long before the end of last year. In fact, it was in 2024, I didn't even realize that, in December of 24 is when this chart hit all-time high. So an interesting part or a valuable part potentially of this is that offsets when we would look for that bear market bottom, because we have seen about 365 days every time from the high to the low. In some cases, I think it's like exactly 365 days. In some, it's off by a few. You can see in 2017 to the low, 364 days. Last cycle, take it from here. A little bit longer, like a little bit longer, I guess, if we use this retest of that high, fits almost exactly 364 days. Here's the interesting part. If we consider the high in for this and extrapolate out and say maybe Bitcoin is following gold instead of the dollar, something that I don't think is like pondered enough. We just really accepted that it's via the US dollar, but there is a possibility that these cycles are based on something else and just coincidentally are expressed through the dollar as well. Maybe an argument in favor of this is that Bitcoin doesn't seem to follow M2 the way that we would expect it to. We can get into that in a little bit, but if this is true, we are actually 100 days overdue for the bear market bottom to be in. What I mean by that is, not quite 80, but what I mean by that is from that all-time high in December of 24, the low, or at least the bear market low we have so far is 434 days out, which is really interesting when you think about not only the timing, but sentiment and kind of the vibe, the interest in crypto. It largely does feel like from February of this year, even till now, a lot more like maybe a time like this. Maybe a time like this, where literally everybody checks out. Every single voice is saying we have more downward to go. There's no point of getting bullish yet. And even myself, you know, that we have to face the charts. That's what it was telling us. Here we are, and we're potentially way overdue. And we've had a pretty sustained rally. Of course, this could all just turn around, slap us in the face, melt off tomorrow. But I have a feeling, at least when it comes to the Bitcoin gold chart, I don't think that it's going to break the last cycle's low. I don't think we're going to see November of 22, that valuation break. So that does mean that I believe that gold versus Bitcoin has bottomed. Whether or not it has versus the dollar is still up in the air, but I think it is a great sign. This chart looks drastically different. Like I was saying, it looks more in line with like total 2. Is it total 2? Or is it total 3? Total 2, total 3? Nope, it's not total 2. Maybe it's total 3. I'm not going to look for it right now. But it looks more in line with just like altcoins in general. I'm not really sure what significance that would be, but it is interesting nonetheless. What else have we got on here? Taking our fib extension gets us pretty close. This is the 3. Gotta get rid of these big ones. Hold up. There we go. It doesn't get us that close. Let's do this. Let's see where we are on the retracement. Just here. Either. Maybe if we add some of this, like a different, I'm trying to just look at this from a different approach. Daily moving averages all the way up here. We're about to see the death cross happen. Last time that finished, we were already in the bull market back here. Golden cross is coming. That's not even that different looking. It's interesting. I like this perspective. Now, I admit it. It is probably just hopium, but it's hopium that is based on logic. Like it's based on something. The main point of this whole thing, the whole idea that I have here is that potentially we may have been looking at everything wrong, myself included, that Bitcoin, its cycle, its movements, its timing may not be just Bitcoin USD. It's possible that that just is what we've been looking at and what lines up with everything else, because obviously gold and dollar have a relationship, but maybe it's something like the dollar. Maybe it's something like stocks. There are other potentials that we may have just not really noticed over these years that could come into play here and could change everything, but at the same time, it would just be playing out the same way it always has. I think it's a really cool concept. I think it's something worth looking at. Hold up. Ugh, got cold again. Bullish Mike, you know, I'll throw this in here. Of course. I'll throw this in here as well, because this is just a cool fact that I love talking about. Bitcoin got its ETF in 2024. Gold got its ETF in 2004. Spooky. Exactly 20 years later. Spooky. Gold had a period of like 30 years where it topped out and did nothing. The ETF for gold, I would have assumed happened way before 2004, but came into play right around here. After that ETF launched, gold basically had a 10-year ripper. From 2004 all the way to like 2011, so 7 years. For 7 years, it just moved up and to the right. Pretty insane price action when you look at it this way. Bitcoin got its ETF in 2024, and I think we unfortunately can't say, well, the same thing's going to happen. We unfortunately can't say that because Bitcoin already has had some retracement going on here on the dollar pair. But it is possible that Bitcoin ends up looking or behaving more like gold after its ETF. And I think even the Bitcoin gold chart might suggest that a bear market bottom could be earlier. The retracement could be more mild, and we could see more of an up and to the right move over time. I think that's logical. It certainly feels like that should be the case when you include ETFs and Sailor and all this just like consistent buying, that the lows maybe won't be as extreme. I think there's probably like a lot more analysis we could do just on this chart. The thing that really drives this for me is I truly don't believe this will break. It's already retraced 70% from the high. It seems like even if this is going to take, because obviously what could happen is you see Bitcoin versus gold just dick around, and then into the end of this year, maybe even you see that break and it moves back up with some kind of sweep of liquidity, or just creeping up and takes a really long time eventually to get back. But I really don't think that gold is going to lose, or Bitcoin's going to lose this against gold. Gold could easily have more gains this year, but I don't think that it will have the gains that we saw last year, let's say. And at least not in the context of Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin was moving down while gold was moving up. I don't think that's going to be the case if we do see another rally in gold, unless it's just the absolute flush at the bottom. Absolutely. What's up, Christopher? Of the hard fork in August of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's has been forked a bajillion times. So do you mean the one people were talking about really briefly online? One sec. Yeah, temperature is swinging like crazy here. My allergies are going nuts again. So what do you guys think? Is there a possibility? Now, I like the gold chart for it. It doesn't have to be the gold chart, but do you think that there is a possibility that Bitcoin cycles are not based on its dollar representation, and that perhaps it's based on something else? If it's not gold, curious what you guys think it could be. I think gold is a good one. Maybe indices. M2 supply just doesn't seem to have a strong correlation with Bitcoin, at least not since like August. Is it like August of last year? Maybe we'll say no, since October of last year. Because M2 keeps printing up and Bitcoin is printed down. What do you guys think? I'm curious. I like the concept. You're hoping that Bitcoin gold ratio would hit 10? Where are we at now? 13. It hit 12. I mean, that is a big hit. That is a big downside. 70% is basically the entire previous bear market. It was really only like 75% in 21. 70% is pretty deep. I mean, of course, 10 could still happen, and of course, I could be wrong, and we could see a last cycle's low break. I just don't think it will. I'm not sure why. I just don't think it will. I want to see your guys' thoughts. Gold will dump soon, and so that is, yeah, Flajutabus, that is a possibility that also lines up and kind of makes it not play out as awesome as I want it to play out. Is gold could just dump and Bitcoin could do nothing, and then this pair could very easily return to more normalized values. That's something to be aware of when looking at these pairs. Is like Bitcoin versus gold, it can moon, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is moving up in dollars. It could even move down in dollars in a very weird scenario. And still like break all-time highs versus gold. That would be a very strange turn of events, but it is possible. These pairs don't dictate the other pairs in that direct sense. What up, buddy? How you doing, Rising Sun? Make a new perspective on Bitcoin great again. We need it, dudes. We need it. We absolutely need a little bit of hopium. We need a little different look. We need a different look. The last few days have been good. Sailor coming in and saying, yeah, he went from never sell your Bitcoin, sell your kidneys for your Bitcoin, or some kind of bullshit, to like sometimes sell your Bitcoin, but buy more Bitcoin than you sell. That's a pretty rough maneuver. That's a pretty rough narrative change for Bitcoin in general. Obviously an extremely bearish for sentiment when you hear that, but I think sentiment was already pretty damn bearish. Maybe it'll play out to be the perfect thing though, because excitement was just starting to build into like Wednesday, and that's exactly when we heard, well, Tuesday. It's exactly when we heard this from Sailor. So maybe it's gonna cool that sentiment off, and maybe that'll allow this rally to run more. Something that we have been watching and probably need to follow up on is the 200-day moving average still untested. We did not manage to hit it on Wednesday. 200 day. While we did trade to 82.8. The 200-day was at 83.2. In the previous previous bear markets, remaining under the 200, in hindsight, was the exact indicator of is Bitcoin bullish or bearish. We saw it lost in December of 21. After that, we back tested it in March, which we have not done this cycle at all, and we remained below it until January of 23. As soon as we retook it, Bitcoin began pumping. Now, there was obviously brief periods on the way up, almost every single leg, where we spent time underneath it. But I'd say for the most part, as soon as we retook the 200-day, we began trending up again. We haven't tested it yet. If we do retest it and we can retake it, I think that things can start looking very different. I think that it's like worth keeping that perspective. Where do people think bull market support band or whatever? It's on the week. Interesting. We did the bull market support band. We did close 3 candles above it on the weekly. That I did not expect. I believe this is like the month though that people are looking at, right? Ew. The month is very ugly. So we're above it on the week and below it on the month. Pretty sure the bull market support band is really, it's just like the 20 moving average and the 21 EMA maybe. Someone was saying we were looking for a close on the month above it. On the day we keep closing above it. On the week we've closed above it. I don't know what exactly they were saying. All right. Let's see. Start a bet on Tom's here. Bet the bottom be below due to unforeseen for what? I mean, you can make that bet. Go for it. Yeah, I guess that's big news today. It's big news only because of how the market reacted or didn't react. Coinbase was down apparently for like 6 hours last night. I don't think I remember a time ever that Bitcoin was down, or Coinbase was down for more than, like during really big eventful crashes and things. We've seen it go down, but that's always been very temporary. I want to even say It usually didn't even last like an hour. Maybe didn't even last like 15 minutes. But apparently Coinbase was down for like 6 hours and nothing happened. Nothing became of it. That is different. That's very different. There was no crazy surge in traffic that caused it. Apparently there were some like Amazon Web Services went down, and that's why. I don't know. It seems weird. Coinbase also just announced that they had laid off what % of their workers, how many days before, and then all of a sudden they go down. Seems suspicious. Did they just patchwork? Wait. No, it's right here. Thursday 21, then Friday 3. So they actually are only showing 4 hours of downtime, but it was definitely more than that. Where are you? Why is there no gap here in these candles? I don't like that. Interestingly, Coinbase during its downtime went down at, the price was 79.6, and when it came back up, the price was 79.6. So literally nothing happened during that time, and that is like adding on to the weirdness. Typically when Coinbase has gone down, it's been big moves, or you would expect big moves across the space, and literally nothing happened. Coinbase is like the biggest, I will say, is the biggest legitimate spot exchange, and nothing happened. No one took advantage of that. No market makers crashed it or pumped it. Just left it right where it was. There was an exchange called, God, what is it? Revolt. Is that even on TradingView? I have this weird feeling it's not. BTCUSD by Revolt. Do they even have it? I don't think it's even on Coinbase. Revolt. Bitcoin USD. Let's look it up. I think they've already scrubbed that. Nope, they didn't already scrub it, at least not from the month time frame. Here we go. I'm not sure if we can get a real chart for Revolt, because Revolt's like, honestly, I've never heard of anyone trading Bitcoin on Revolt. But when you look at the monthly time frame, you will find that on Revolt, Bitcoin crashed to, it was like 2 cents. Now, I've seen posts saying it was a data error. I kind of doubt it was a data error. It easily could be. You also would expect that things like this would be fixed then. It's like still on their site. I would honestly guess that it wasn't a data error, and that it was, I mean, no one uses this to trade. What is their liquidity? What's their 24-hour volume? I have a feeling they're going to have like a bullshit 24-hour volume here. What is their Revolt? I don't even know if I can look this up. I don't even know if they have it. I would guess it's because no one uses this. Is it even like a crypto exchange? I don't know. But no one uses it, has no liquidity, and likely there's just like a sell order that the books couldn't handle. The one thing that really sucks is we used to see these flash crashes in crypto all the time back in the earlier days when exchanges weren't quite as mature. We didn't have, I'll say, like TradFi, like real market makers in the space, or at least there was very few of them. We would see flash crashes and pumps that were on only one exchange typically. And you would be able to, at times, take advantage of them. I remember I got filled, I think on Litecoin once, at like a really weird low number that it didn't really trade anywhere else at. I can't remember what exchange it was on. Maybe it was on like Bittrex or something. You used to be able to take advantage of those via limit orders. But now exchanges typically won't let you set limit orders like that. And what I mean is, if Bitcoin is at 80K right now, you used to be able to set a buy order at $1, at 2 cents. And that was like just common practice. Now, when you try to do that, the exchanges will like reject your orders for some reason. They'll say it's too far from price. And so what that means is, in the event that these things happen, we don't get to take advantage of them. And then you have to question who does. Probably just the market makers. Probably the market makers, right? We lose again. Those used to happen a lot. It's a good thing that they don't, to be honest, but these happen a lot. What's up, Paz? Much love. Welcome back, Paz. Sui Chainlink. I'll look at Sui for you today. All Europeans use it, bro. Check my info. I mean, I'm just speaking from what I know. That's all I know, right? I don't know. We have lots of Europeans in the room. How many of you use Revolt? I guess Mr. Pump-A-Lot does, but we had no choice but to use American exchanges. That's not true. I've always used other exchanges. What about the news? BlackRock sells 98 million in Bitcoin. To my knowledge, BlackRock doesn't own any. They don't own any Bitcoin, do they? I don't think that they actually own Bitcoin. I'm looking it up. I mean, they hold a lot of Bitcoin, but that's not their Bitcoin. You can say, oh, what about iBit? iBit is an ETF, so it's like you go to BlackRock and you give them $100 and you say buy $100 worth of Bitcoin for me, and then they hold it. They don't like buy it and sell it then. Like they don't like panic buy it or panic sell. Like it's your asset, or they're holding on your behalf. It's like a liability for them. So if $98 billion $1 million was sold of Bitcoin, then that means that $98 million in the ETF was sold. So did BlackRock themselves sell it? Like maybe literally they did because it's their ETF and they're like custodial, but to say like BlackRock sold it is clearly like an engineered sentence of, you know, be scared, big company with all this money is like selling Bitcoin, but that's like not the case, right? I mean, I may be wrong here too. This is just to my knowledge. When I say I may be wrong here, I mean maybe they do hold Bitcoin and they sold it, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think they hold any Bitcoin like publicly, do they? Revolt Flujitibus, yeah. I mean, someone said that all Europeans use it. Monzo, I've never heard of that. You can't even take Bitcoin out of Revolt, says Isaac. Dude, bro, what? That's crazy. Randy says BlackRock owns 0 Bitcoin. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. So Revolt's liquidity or whatever traded to like 2 cents and it's paper. I mean, that's a good thing in many ways, because that just means it's like completely irrelevant to the greater picture of Bitcoin, what the price does, right? If you can't withdraw it, it's paper. Even if they have the Bitcoin, it's paper. There can be issues if like exchanges have big problems like that, and you can withdraw Bitcoin, and then if actors can get that Bitcoin off quickly before like they shut down withdrawals or something, that can be problematic. But I mean, if it's just paper, it's like they'll just eat the loss or whatever. Doesn't really impact much. Can you send it there and sell it? That's crazy. That's a scam. Binance and Bybit are by far the 2 biggest exchanges in Europe. Yeah, of course, GHPL, of course. No one uses Revolt in Europe, says GHPL. I have never heard of anyone using Revolt in my life. That's why I said nobody uses it. Pumps-A-Lot says all Europeans do, or lots of Europeans do, so I don't know. Should buy an exchange and carry it to your wallet. Amen. Amen, my friend. Yes, you should. Hella fees. Revolt does. That's weird. Especially if it's paper, that's weird. It's all paper contracts with exchanges. I mean, I think that's literally true. We have to hope that, because I mean, the Coinbase isn't, you know, moving coins every time an order is executed. That's all. Yeah, it's all paper in that logic. But at the end of the day, we have to hope and we should demand that they prove they have those reserves and prove that they can meet their obligations. Because if they don't, that's bad. It's very bad. You got an account to hold cash on Revolt? Currency. Oh, to exchange currencies. Interesting. What's up? It's Friday, Charles. How are you? What's up, Nature? 200 EMA hit on Coinbase. It was not. Oh, EMA. 200 EMA. Where the hell is the 200 EMA? I'm guessing you mean on the day. EMA on the day. Could be any time frame, though. Who knows? What do we got? 200 EMA on the day. Yeah, fair. I'm typically an MA user. Not an EMA user, but it's worth putting it up here. Let's see. Let's change this to... Blue's not a bad color, let's just make it thicker. $200 EMA, 200 MA have remained pretty close together throughout the last cycle. Crossing bearishly, it seems, at like each little pit stop. We've had a 200 EMA cross under the 200 MA at each retracement on the way up. We cross bearishly here, and we start falling, and here we are. Yeah, I mean, that is not for nothing. That is something. I guess I use MA so often that I just like to stick with it. But I think realistically, they have been really close together. So it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, that's worthy of pointing out. I guess I'm still waiting for the 200 MA though on the day. I still think we hit it. That is spicy. That's a way to look at it. Huh. Look at that. Oh, wait. Derp. Derp, 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 derp. Because this is set to the day, isn't it? Yep. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty damn close all the time. So the 200 EMA on the week was hit during this low, and then now we just hit the EMA on the day as the high. Yeah. All right. Man, Bitcoin sideways. Let's look at some other charts. I just like I'm just getting so salty, man. Everything else keeps hitting all-time high, and Bitcoin's just sitting there. It's bonkers. Rut took a little break today. No all-time high for the Russell 2000. Nvidia hit all-time highs today. No definitive breakout there. Hit all-time high, but has now moved back underneath that previous, April high. That higher low really coming in clutch. Now you have the higher high. That classic breakout confirmation, I'd say. Is Coinbase even relevant in 2026? Yeah, for sure. Coinbase obviously has lost relevancy in many ways, but Coinbase will remain very relevant because of its US base. It's US base and its spot base. That's really what, in my mind, that's really what it is. Is its spot volume. Like, they've added perps and different things and like whatever, but it's just the spot volume. A lot of places claim really high volumes, and usually it's just like ridiculous, leverage volumes, which are just inflated obviously by leverage. But places like Binance and Bybit, should we trust Coinbase's numbers and reporting? I don't know, but I trust them more than, say, Binance. Like, if Binance says we did this much volume in spot, I don't trust it as much as Coinbase. Coinbase is publicly traded in the US. There's, they have a lot more, what's it called? They have to be more transparent. It'd be harder for them to hide things. I don't doubt that they do, and I don't doubt that, there's a percentage of it that's bullshit, but Coinbase will remain relevant for sure. It's definitely going to continue to lose relevancy, though. Thoughts on Circle? Yeah, let me look at Circle. Let's just be jealous for a minute here. Nvidia looking for more all-time highs, I suppose. 250 is probably the next stop. I'd say just under 250 for Nvidia. What else are we looking at? 𝐂𝐡 still chilling there. I didn't notice this on Wednesday when we looked at 𝐂𝐡. 𝐂𝐡 actually broke its high, its resistance from the last bull market against Bitcoin. Wow. That's a troubling thought, that 𝐂𝐡 pivoted to AI and then broke its Bitcoin pair. Interesting that it's kind of hanging out there, though. Broke it. Now it's just trading sideways. That's crazy bullish though. SPX more all-time highs today, heading for 7,500 as it continues. Do anything about Flare FLR, Ross? It was like an airdrop for XRP and XLM, right? Something like that. I wouldn't put a penny into that ecosystem. I feel like it's like throwing pennies into the Hex ecosystem. It's like if Richard Hart comes out with another coin, it's like, bro, don't. You have to be like the same audience buying Richard Hart's new coins if he drops them is the same audience following James Wynn on Twitter. It's like people who, I mean, people I don't believe are real. I don't believe they exist, but people that somehow have money despite like being desperate to get scammed for it or give it away. Micron really started cooking, guys. We were waiting for this to break out for quite some time. After it hit 500, instantly moved. Man, that only took like 2 weeks. Instantly moved to that 717, 720 target using the Fibonacci measured move, the 2 extension. There you go. Typically, I consider things that move to those 2 extensions, especially quickly, overextended. I don't doubt that Micron can have more upside. If we don't see it chill out here at 720, I mean 1250, not a bad spot. Friendly reminder that we have not seen, I don't think. Maybe we have seen a back test of 500. I'm surprised. How do I not have a long position there? I don't. Boo. That's nutty. Tom is back, babe. What's up, Quinn? That's such a move, man. If Micron does reach to 1250, it has to be like a blow off top. It has to be. This is bonkers. April of 25, you're up 1,000%. Okay. Damn it, Bitcoin. Sandisk, I know Nimoy finally said he's going to take a little bits of profit. So proud of him. Shout out to you, Nimoy. Sandisk hitting 1,500 here today. Another ripper. Another one we have been watching absolutely go nuts. I have nothing. There's just like nothing for me to do here with Sandisk. Not Sandisk. What is it? Sandisk? Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to call it Sandisk. I have nothing to do here with it. We're at 1,500. We have this huge move. It just does not seem to want to give up. At this point, all we can do is look at the next psychological values, 2,000. It seems like this is just going to keep rallying until it blows off. Until it does a little blow off top. That can be a very hard thing to time, especially when you run out of fibs. I don't know what to do with it. I have no idea. Nope. It's Sandisk in my mind, not Sandisk. All the devs making NFTs, dude. Who's even making NFTs? Are people still doing NFTs? I am not a fan of saying "told you so," but guys, I told you so throughout all of those years of NFTs. I was like, I have never bought any. I don't think anybody should buy any. I don't see a value there. I see potential with the NFT technology or the use on chain. I see potential there for different things, but URLs of images on chain, no, that's crazy. Hopefully people aren't still buying them. I don't believe they are. And if they are again what the James Wynn Richard Hart followers that just like, I don't know, have we say this, but there are people out there with fetishes. Yeah, we don't judge here, but like fetishes about giving their money away and stuff. Maybe that's the overlap. Maybe that's like the people who are getting scammed all the time. Maybe it's like their like thing, I mean, it's like getting their rocks off. I have no other explanation. It's the only possibility. I can't really, in good faith, say along on Sandisk makes any sense. But if I was going to do it, I would look at this previous high on May. Earlier in May at, what is this, 1450? Looking for 2,000. I mean, it's been a pretty successful strategy. We did not get refilled at 715. We gapped up but we did get refilled at 1,000 on our way to 1,500. Now we've broken. Maybe we're looking for that same move to 2,000. This is definitely an upwards knife, though. Like, I've no doubt that it can continue going, but it will. Like, it will stop. The music will end, and the chairs will get full, as we've seen with everything. It's just, it's not unique to this chart. Everything that does this, no matter how much I believed in the moment that it would go forever, it all does. It all ends. And the spicier it gets, usually the closer to the end it is. This is bonkers, though. I'm certainly jealous. I'm certainly super proud of everybody here who nailed this. I hope you printed. I guess same with Micron. Silly. Silly. Where are our gains? This is so unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, actually MicroStrategy is not looking too bad either. After announcing that they would, after years of saying they would never sell, announces that they will sell. They said that they will sell some Bitcoin just as a test. After the worst earning quarter in history. Actually, that was technically right here. Was the worst earning quarter in history, right? Wasn't it on Monday? And just look for a higher low, apparently. Resistance, support, higher low, broke, higher high. Support here at 7178. Where are we going? I imagine if MicroStrategy keeps climbing, that is an extremely bullish sign for Bitcoin. I can't really imagine it any other way. How could I interpret it any other way? I do not know. I thought we were going to reject from 180 and or 170, and I thought 170 was like a crazy hopium target. Strategy does have the potential here. This is probably what we need to look at more so than whatever kind of little trade or scalp target here. The reasoning for this 100 to 170, this awesome trade, one of the best trades of like the last few months we've had. The reasoning for that, honestly, was because this chart looked so bad. It looked so bad that that move would have completed the extremely bearish head and shoulders. And in that scenario, we were looking for this to break down again, maybe move towards 50. And it is potentially now at a point where it could escape or invalidate that bearish pattern. We did look for it early. It did play out. It still, of course, can. It's still looking, it's still not at a higher high when you look at the macro, but it is approaching here really quickly. I'd say above 200, and it's kind of escaped the velocity there. That's kind of it. If you can get above 200, break this descending trend line, you're likely looking to fill in a lot of what happened here. A lot of these red candles with very little bounce. Why did my phone just vibrate? Of course it's Sandisk. Maybe I'll just keep saying Sandisk to troll people. And I like the name better. Petition. Nimoy, throw all your shares at this. Petition to rename it to Sandisk. How about that? I think that makes sense. Yeah, especially in the middle of a big rally. You know, just change all your branding. Change it all up. Change everything. Change your business model. You're at all-time high. Maybe pivot to being an AI company. Maybe you're an AI company now. Yeah, there we go. 1,500, boys. I still would take profit. I'd still lock it in. I would lock in some profit here. I'd lock in some profit at 1,750. I'd lock in some profit at 2,000. I'd lock in that profit probably at 2,500. Give it a little gap again. 25. My loud. It is so weird to me, having done this for so many years, to be watching all these assets rally like this and Bitcoin just not really doing anything. Ooh, scam disc. Nimoy, as soon as you sell all your shares, we'll repetition it, and then we'll start calling it a scam disc, and we'll FUD it. And then you can buy back. It'll be a whole thing. We got it. It can be scam disc for now, and then it'll be scam disc. Scam disc. Then it'll be scam disc. And then we'll all buy in low, and then we'll start calling it a Sandisk, and then it'll just be very confusing for everyone involved. Be very confusing, very convoluted plan, but I believe in it, so let's do this. That's funny though, scam disc. I like it. How is Bitcoin just doing nothing? I got an alert. I don't even remember looking at this. Rio Tinto one of you guys maybe look at this at some point. I know, because I don't know what the hell this is. It's not crypto. I don't remember really looking at it, but I got an alert the other day, and I actually think that this chart looks very good. I don't know what they do. If any of you guys know what the hell this is, please chime in. I'm looking at the chat. But this looks incredibly good. I wish that I'd had the alert set earlier, or like at a lower price. Check this shit out. This is a weekly time frame. This is all the way back in 2008. This descending high trend was broken at the beginning of this year. Price pushed to a higher high versus May 21. Retraced, back tested that great like 20-year trend line, and now has a higher high. Looking at our fib, using our fib tool, the 1618 sits at 140, which is a 40-ish% move from here, and that's the all-time high. You break that, I think you see 180 very quickly. We can do moon mathy stuff. We can, take the total high and low. We can throw them on. We can have some hopium here. What the hell is this thing? And we can get some crazy numbers that maybe aren't worth looking at yet. But this chart is awesome. Like, you guys see the potential here, like 550. This chart's awesome. That backtest is beautiful. Higher high after that. Like, this is what we just like are praying Bitcoin freaking does. Does something. Does something. Do something. Break out like this. Have a awesome backtest. I think this is moving to 140 really quickly. Very quickly. Let's look at this. What do we got? Maybe. We do it like that. 95. Stop below your low. 140. So that plays out. I like that. Iron ore, aluminum, copper, and minerals. Interesting. It's a mining company. I do feel jaded on mining companies. I don't know why. Maybe it's from Bitcoin. Even though mining's like kind of different. Maybe it's from Bitcoin. Maybe it's because we saw gold rally and I didn't really see the gold miners rally. What is with that? They're just not that impacted by the only thing they do, I suppose. It's weird. But keep an eye on this one, guys. This is something. I don't know. I always say I wouldn't chase it up. But this is a chart. This is fire. This is a fire. Hit your higher high. No bear div there either. Huge weekly move. Keep the eyes peeled. Diamonds. Ugh. I like how tons of you knew what it was. What's up, Del Boy? Christopher knew. Del Boy knew. Randy Phil is ripping. Filecoin. I think, was it you that asked me to look at this the other day? I think we did. You did on the 4th of May. May the 4th. Yeah, I got an alert actually on Filecoin. For $1. Let me see. What were we looking at? Ew. Well, ahoy, hoy. Let's go. Filecoin is absolutely ripping. Yep. Up another 13% today. I do not love, though, that it is at the 200-day moving average. That's always a sketchy spot. Sketchy spot to look for long. But let's go. I guess on the 4th, we put this here fire on Monday. Looking for 166. I guess I was just back to January's high here. Yeah. I guess you can go back and see what I said about it on Monday. I don't think my opinion will have changed much. I don't remember what I said about it on Monday. I'm just assuming it hasn't changed much. You can get a big move here. A lot of coins are kind of set up for this, where you can get a big move and not much really. Nothing fundamentally on the chart has changed. It can still like look very, very bearish despite a big move. But let's throw on just these trends. Let's check it out this way. 66. The 200-day moving average being exactly at price here today is always sketchy. 166 was your double top here back in January of this year before you fell lower. You did hold October's low, which is decent enough. You have a long way to go to get back above 166, and you can begin an uptrend. I would say you're still in a downtrend below that. If you want to get real serious about it, you're probably going to downtrend below like $4. The big bad, and I'm sure I talked about this on Monday. The big bad about this is $2.30, something like that. This is going to be a brick wall. Like, if it can manage, that'd be a big gain from here, almost 100%. If it can manage to reach it, this is going to be a huge hurdle. This was all of the resistance, man. 2018 it was tapped once. 19 it was tapped once, twice. 20 it was tapped once. 22 we can even claim, we can say it was 23 also here, but 25 October sell-off, and then boom, you get this, I'll say, squeeze after October that closes and just snaps right back down underneath it. There's going to be so many sellers at this level. That's going to be a hard battle. I think the trade is still kind of on. It's, in my opinion, too late to jump into it. I wouldn't. Longing at the 200-day is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But this has been a hell of a ride, man. Even since Monday when we placed this position, we trade up 35%. That's pretty fire. If I was in Filecoin at all, I would definitely take some profits at like 166. I would maybe take all of them. If it gets to 235, I would also dump this. This has been brutal. Yeah, okay, I remember on Monday being like, holy shit, $236, $38 to 60 cents for a 99.75% retracement. Holy moly. Yeah, like hanging out at the cloud here. There's a lot of resistance even just right here. 200-day daily cloud. I would be closer to taking profit than longing it, honestly. You do see the cloud twisting. That could be potentially some forward-looking positivity. What do you guys think? Do you think that Filecoin is going to continue rallying? You think it's going to reject from the 200? Or do you think it's going to reject from 200? Do you think it's going to go to 160? Or do you think it has potential for higher? That's brutal. It is cool to see these pumps. It's been a while, crypto. Been a while. You just got to be careful. When things fall 99.75%, they can pump pretty hard. The problem is that almost no matter when you got in, that pump usually doesn't bring you to a place that matters, right? A place that will make you back in profit. The only people in profit on Filecoin at all, period, bought their Filecoin during the last, I don't know, 384 days, something like that, or in October when it flashed. I'm going to go ahead and guess very few people were buying this down here, because why would you? You get rid of this candle, and this thing it just looks like death. It looks like it wants to go retest this wick and probably go lower. So like very few people are in it. As soon as people start jumping into it, that's when the market makers will take that profit, push it right back down. Like they can pump big because there's, you know, very little sellers, because there's very little people in profit that can sell the price down, except for the people looking to whip up liquidity. Be very careful. God. What do you think about Monad? Are you still here, El Matador? Who else is here? This is a quiet ass stream. This is like the quietest stream we've had, and we've had some very quiet streams recently. This Bitcoin isn't doing anything. I mean, just look at the biggest gainers. What's up, Dave B? Who else is here? Flajuda, you've been here. You're a G. It's getting lonely. And we can't even use the excuse that it's like, well, it's early, or yeah, like it's earlier than usual. It's noon now. This is the time we're usually live. I wonder, oof. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is starting. Maybe it's time. It might be time to start looking for coins that did this, that haven't broken out yet. Basically, coins that like dumped down near or below their October low and then spent like a month or two just sideways. We could see some potentials, because This is becoming more and more common now. Our long did not fill, unfortunately. But Ondo keeps ripping. 41 cents. Again, like I said, it's up huge. It's up over 100, almost 100%. But, you know, the only people in profit bought right here. Bought it like the worst possible time. Obviously, in hindsight, never mind. I'll say also, you know, the first few days of its trading. I think in the bigger picture, we're just looking for other coins moving. Other coins with this setup to long. 50 cents is probably a good target. What will get spicy, though, is if like Filecoin and Ondo, if these things doing this, start breaking previous highs, then things get spicy. Then we could be seeing like an actual recovery of some kind in alts, which just seems like the stupidest thing in the world to say, but it is what it is. Yeah, Filecoin's up 11% in the last hour. That's a nice candle. Sky AI, 73% this week. Jupe is up. I don't know. Nobody talk about Jupe. Remember, people were all about Jupe. There's so many coins like that people are just like all about. Still here? There you are. I'll check out Monad for you then. What up, Dino Mike, my guy, Trinity, Gabe. It'll get better in August. It's funny because summer has historically been the most boring times, even during like the bull markets or even bear markets. And it's like, seems difficult. If it's even more boring than now, there might be nobody in this stream. What's up, Ronald Grump? Philly Skills, my guy. Yeah, throw on some tunes. I'll throw on some tunes. Why not? Ad revenue's a joke anyway. Good. Philly Skills. Are you still in Philly? You still live? Do you live in Philly? I don't even know if I've ever asked. Get that volume right. There it is. Jupe.
Activate the destruction spell.
Activate the destruction spell. Jupe. Jupity. Where are you, Jupity? Jupe. Okay, here's another one. Another altcoin that's pumping that is interacting with its 200-day moving average. That's kind of spicy. Jupe actually trading above its 200-day, potentially closing above it above 21.2. Maybe the winds are starting to shift here for some alts. You look at the week, you can see it's right around the weekly resistance. You zoom out and Jupe suffers from the same thing many do, like Filecoin. You spent a lot of time, a lot of effort holding a support at 33 cents. You lost it. You're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to test it. Get past 33? No. Get past 25. All right. I think we'll continue to see this rally. Let's say like 25. You get past 25 though, and you actually start to look decent. Hold any higher low after 25. Check out that 35. That starts to look very good. Very good. It's weird that alts are moving. They really have just been so suppressed though that these moves aren't that surprising. Not that surprising. We still have dropped 0 frames. That is phenomenal. This fiber connection is unbelievable. Better than I expected. What up, Dutang? What up, my friend? Monad, XRP, what are you saying? Karaoke Asia. XRP will benefit as more countries modernize financial systems. What would Karaoke Asia, what would your argument be though? That Ripple, XRP has been around since like 2014 and countries have continued to modernize their payments, but XRP is not appreciated. What would your logic be? Your, I don't want to say excuse, but like reasoning. Curious. Why did it not do it? Why is it not scaled with it so far? And if that is if that's the case, then why would you expect it to scale with it in the future? Curious. Check out Monad here for our boy. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man? Copium would be your guess, Lee. Well, others tied to 200 day and week. Yeah, a lot of them well below their 200 week because they got nuked. Grim Rider, QNT, I could check that for you. Actually, in Delaware, we were playing this. Did you ever go to the Ave or Fillmore? I've been to both of them in Philadelphia. What's up, Trex? Beach clubs vibing. Well, Christopher, I didn't go to Vegas this year. That's why I loved Miami, because that's the exact vibe. I loved when they had it in Miami. It was amazing. Wait, these are weeks? I thought these were months. So. Ooh, that's crazy. Look at that setup. Let's see. All right, I mean, I think Monad's going to 3.7 cents. Break that like 4.3. I don't hate what I'm seeing so far. Some of these alts are really really like shaping up. I can't tell. I just like, I'm having trouble trusting it. It's been so much pain here. It's like rough. I like the moving average setup. Looks strong. Break 3.7 cents. I mean, you're at 3.3. If you Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead. You have my permission. Back in my day, Bitcoin was the thing that we just like couldn't do analysis on because it was just pumping too hard. And it's like, well, we're just gonna keep pumping, I guess. Sky's the limit. Now it's everything but Bitcoin. Well, everything but crypto. I'm liking this development though. I'm liking the development of some of these alts. I think they're all going to like maybe they'll take turns pumping and then they'll all hit resistance and they'll all turn around. They'll catch everybody at their highs. But damn, my 𝐿 probably got wrecked. No, it's not wrecked yet, but I really like that setup. Fudge. Like how Ethereum's sitting out the rally. I don't even know what this is. I don't remember looking at that. SMR. It's for one of you guys. BB Bed Bath & Beyond. Whew, Intel, all-time highs. God, everything's at all-time high. Everything. That's crazy. Since April, Intel's up 100%. I feel like this is the classic time where people would like call you and be like, "Hey, should I buy Intel?" It's like after a move like this, like, should I buy it? I don't know. Should you? Same with Dell, dude. How is it that Bitcoin is not pumping? How is it that crypto is not pumping during this like just mania? This CRV trade is making more sense now to me. Honestly, at this point my new stance on the market for crypto is look for this. Just look for the leg down in January. Look for something that's just been trading sideways since then, and then look to play it back to that previous support. That's probably the play, because we are seeing this line up on it like so many things. There are a few coins that look different. Like what Dash is doing, I don't know. Dash pumped with 𝐂𝐸, pulled back. That's actually really clean. 𝐂𝐸 might be worth a long, but I'm not going to take it because I have tried to long this coin, Dash, a few times, and every time I've gotten wrecked by it. I'm not going to do it. Fool me once. Fool me 10 times. You guys asked about Circle earlier. Circle still looks fine. You can look for a position at the gap at 100. CME gap is now largely closed. There's still $1,000 CME gap above us. Algorand juicy. Sorry, I'm like real far behind on the chat because I keep looking at charts. Ondo juicier. Yeah, we looked at Ondo. Algorand. Yeah, you broke your high. Algorand back to 14 cents. This chart reminds me of like 𝐂𝐸, but like 4 years ago. Maybe like more. In the sense of it has a huge listing wick that was sold off. Come on, let me get the trend line. What up? I see someone subscribed. Yeah, it's like you have this huge listing wick, and then you have a high, and then like you have a lower high, and it's like, do like 4 more years. I'm just being jaded though. Probably. I think Zek, goddamn. I keep saying Zek now. I think Algo does look good back to like 14 cents. Let's see what happens there. This RSI is very strong in the day. I actually like that. Maybe as high as 18. Retickets 200 day, dude. There's another one. Another one. Potential. What's up? Simon Ashworth. Welcome, brother. Welcome, my friend. Sure, Tom's up for bat for the Fed chair. That's fact. That's true. Nasdaq move 30K. Cheers. Arceus, how you doing? Everyone waiting on clarity? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think clarity matters. If everything pumps after clarity, it'll just be self-fulfilling. Or if everything dumps. I don't think the Clarity Act provides like any clarity. I don't even know if it's like a good thing for crypto. Honestly, government involvement has seemed to be not a good thing. So far, the more involved they've gotten, the worse the space has been. When they were against it, it seemed to do better. When they were fighting it, it seemed to do better. Maybe we need to get the opposite of clarity. Back to crackdown. What's up, Crunk? What's up, Brick City? Down bad in your Intel short? Yeesh. Yeah, I bet, dude. That's getting rough. When'd you short it? That's good. Dust Peach, you want to come over after the stream? We can get all-time high. Intel was dead and then USA got it. Is Intel the one that they bought the stake in? Well, yeah, like if the government owns, the government's invested in a company that it's probably not going to do bad when the money printer owns something, and probably ain't going to do bad. Kind of crazy, the government buying companies. Seems like really like a communist thing to do. Garden railroading. Aliens are real now. Dude, I saw some of those pictures and they were lame. None of them look like aliens. What's up, Brick City? No, it's fun. No, it's like, I guess, unsurprising. Government released the X-Files. They released the X-Files, and guess what? No aliens in them. They released the Epstein files. Guess what? Nothing. Dude, this is crazy. It's actually crazy. I don't even want to talk about it, but like think. The government released how many thousands of like documents related to Epstein? They're so redacted that nothing mattered, but 0 arrests. So what they're saying is they have all of this stuff, and yet just magically there's nothing incriminating. So there's not even a single message of like, what a shit show, dude. What a crazy shit show. Send TRX to all-time high. Is it like just every company, everything to do with computer hardware is mooning? It doesn't make sense. Computer hardware should always moon. Ooh, the Obscurity Act of 26. I agree. Let's do the Obscurity Act. Nasdaq for 30K. What's up, Darkside? VVV. Nasdaq. Whatever. We'll just pull up whatever. Hey, a mule. What's mule? Like a Moscow mule? Oh no, VVV. VVV. Looking good. Looking good. That short will not play. The long did not fill. The only thing we can do really is look for that fill at the previous high. Then we just look upwards. Just look up. Fib up, boys. Fib up. I did yoga yesterday, and I don't know. I've done yoga many times and been, like, it can be tiring and challenging, but like whatever. I am sore like in the weirdest places, and it's all like my joints. It's not good. I don't know what we did. We did like a bunch of different movements that I haven't done before. But like my joints hurt. My neck hurts, my back hurts, my hip, like just in weird spots and shit. Like really tight right here. I don't know what we did, but I did not like it. It felt okay doing it, but I don't know. I would be looking for the fill at the previous high. Maybe you can take that to 250. That's a huge gain. Big old gain. Doesn't look bad. Do the moon math, you got like 50 bucks. Yeah, dude. Great call, Randy. I remember when you brought it to me. Back to the raids. Ooh, the Hayes Act. Philly, I think Paul got you. The Hayes Act. Yeah. Start at 70 DCA on the way up, Brick. That's rough. Was that when an AI image was what? I don't give a shit because they always lie. That's true. Government always lies. Aliens have probably always been here microscopic. I mean, yeah, but I think when people talk about aliens, they mean like sentient, smarter than us, more advanced than us life. I mean, it is totally possible that the universe is just a big old fractal, and we're the only thing that exists at like this size relative, right? It's possible. Probably not very likely. I think that aliens 100% exist. I think 100% is intelligent life out there in the universe. I don't believe that it's been here, though. The universe is just so big, and unless you can overcome the limitation of the speed of light, you're just never getting here. Bitcoin has literally done nothing else stream. 𝐂𝐴 White House is going to pump 𝐂𝐶OM. AMD, Intel, Nvidia, Sandisk. Yeah. Down on Fraggle Rock, bro. There it goes. Those are some neurons just fired in my brain. Down on Fraggle Rock. Down on Fraggle Rock. Something, something, sunny days down on Fraggle Rock. Wow. Wow, how dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you bring such thoughts into my brain? That's crazy. I don't think I've thought of that and couldn't even tell you. Right on, Meezer. Right on. Surely it's impossible we're the only life. 100%, yeah. Surely. I agree. I agree, RJB. Surely. It just, it seems unlikely that, I mean, it seems impossible that we would be. And unfortunately, at least the way we understand the universe, doesn't seem like we'll be able to, like, get to each other. And also, there's the fact of, I like ranting about this, is the fact of, assume that there is an alien civilization out there that has the capacity to totally change, I don't know, like the laws that we understand of the universe. They can travel instantly, right? They can surpass the speed of light. Well, in that scenario, we are so primitive to them that they would just like, they probably wouldn't even view us as like intelligent life. We'd be like microbial life. Like if they even saw our planet, they'd be like, meh. Like we wouldn't like stop there and like chat. Like the gap between us would be so massive that they would probably view us closer to like rocks. Sandisk still pumping. Jesus titties. SPX still pumping, still getting alerts. Today was not the day to do Bitcoin content. It should have been stocks content because it's all fucking running. It's all going. Where's my SPX? Yeah, this moving slow, but still. Sandisk 1526. Hold out. Hold out. 2K. So weird to be on the other side. I don't really feel FOMO. Of course, I wish I had all my money in these things that have gone up crazy percent. Of course. I don't really feel FOMO, though. Like, I don't feel like the desire to jump in. Gotta rewatch Fraggle Rock. Do I use AI, Paul? Not really. How should I use AI, do you think? How do you guys think I can incorporate AI? Like, yeah, I would, nah. I'd be like, I don't... It's not that I've never used it. I don't use it regularly, though. At least intentionally. You saw Spaceship when you were young, false flags. Haven't seen anything like it. You guys remember a few months ago. It was only a few months ago. I saw something that I cannot explain, and I shared it with you guys. Remember the moon? It was a full moon. It was the super moon or whatever. And I walked outside. I was walking the dog, and it was a clear night. And I walked outside. I looked up at the moon, full moon, and I don't know. It was like 2 minutes later after starting to walk beans, and I look up because it's just like a beautiful full moon. I'm like, wow. I always stare at the full moon when it's like clear like that, and I see this like it's just a black line. I don't know how else to explain it. It was like a black line. It wasn't vague. It wasn't real tiny. It was like significantly large, and it just went from the right side of the moon. And I could see it before it even like got in between me and the moon, like before it cast a shadow. I could see it because of like just like the glow, you know, like the glow. I could see it like the light flattening or whatever. I don't know how to say it, but like it just moved from one side of the moon to the other side of the moon and beyond it. I don't know. I can't explain it. I've never seen anything like it. Internet doesn't have any explanations. There are other people who have seen it. Describe it really the same way. I don't know. If we believe in the Big Bang, then didn't life start on one massive planet we're all scattered? No. No, because if we believe in the Big Bang, then the universe is just a bunch of hydrogen, so there's no life. Are we ancestors in the... But then we would be ancestors via matter. If things are related... If life is related via matter, then yes, we're all one big family. At least in this universe. Man, what else is there to even look at? Stocks just keep going. I just can't stand it. Micron just keeps going. Strong buy signals for TRX. Dude, TRX it looks phenomenal. Guys, if you haven't yet, I know it's quiet. I know there's not a lot of people here today. Hit the like button, please. Hype up the stream a little bit. Keep it going. If you're out there and you haven't subscribed, join us. I don't even know. I barely have any subscribers lately during the lives. All the subscribers come from the videos. Check out the videos, though. It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea. VVV is Venice token. Randy, what the hell? The hell is Venice? Why is it called Venice token? There's no little info blurb. What is it? Why is it called Venice? I can't find. Usually there's some like bullshit explainer of like what it is. It's just not there in CoinGecko. I should probably pull up 𝐬𝐶. This one I have not looked at. You remember me talking about it? You didn't post a picture? I did. Here, I'll find it. I can show you. I did. I might have not that immediately that day. Let me see. Saved it? Is that saved? Give me the Discord. Edge, how the hell do I? Try. Dude, the search function. The search function in Discord is absolutely garbage. What the sort? What are you even sorting by? You're not sorting by newest. I don't even know how to do it. Damn it! I can't spend forever looking at it. Looking for it. Do I have it saved here? I think it actually might be on my phone, which should be easy to get to the computer. I don't know. I've never in my life, guys. You know me. You know how I am. I don't believe anything I don't see with my own eyes. Honestly, that I don't believe anything's fantastical that I don't believe with my own eyes, or I don't see with my own eyes, and I just do not know how to explain it. And the internet, it was the only thing in my life that the internet had no answers for. Might be the other phone. Guy scrolls through his phone. What great content. Live, baby. On the old phone. Promise, I'm almost done. Why is shit so hard to find? Maybe because I have way too much shit. Aha, I found it. I found it. Okay. I get it. Here it is. So I didn't have a picture of it. No, actually I do. I do have pictures of it, technically, but you really, the camera, our cameras are really bad at capturing pictures of the moon in general. It's just like not the way they're. So it's January 5th. Really, it was January? That was before then. Yep, here we go. Okay, I put them in the Discord. That way I can pull them up. Yeah, there's one. Close enough. Sorry. It took a while. Here we go. So here's a literal picture I took. And it's like, just like every crazy conspiracy guy looking picture. I have like 2 or 3 more. It'll just take too much time to like actually get them out and up so you can see them here. But like, here's one I actually took. And you can like, I have 2 more and there. Another one's like over here. It was much more clear than this, and I drew a picture where you can see this better. But this is like the best whatever that I got of it in real time. So here though is what I'm talking about. This is what I saw. And I've looked this up. I've scoured the internet. I asked thousands of you guys. Nobody knows. This is what I saw. Like, it was like this. It was like a black bar. Started on the right side. It was over here. And it slowly, and I'd say over like the course of 3 minutes, slowly moved over. And then was just gone. At one point, it was like dividing the moon. And you can see that, kind of. You can see that in the picture I took, right? You can see that bar. Like, it's there. It's like a darkness. And with the eye, it like totally blocked the light. Or at least divided it. That's what I saw. No idea. There's other stories of people seeing it, reporting that they've seen something like it, but there's no like, oh, that's obvious. That's obviously this or something. I don't know. Probably a stroke, probably. I was not microdosing, unfortunately. If I was microdosing, I would be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I saw something, but I don't care. I don't know. Scar, the February full moon. You saw that in Arizona also. It was also on the news here. Interesting. Interesting. What's up, moving averages? Sorry if I missed you, man. I was looking for this like picture forever. What's up, Wolf? Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. The black streak that was going across the full moon was Mercury. How could Mercury be a straight line? I could be convinced perhaps that like Mercury or whatever, another celestial body, moved perfectly in between the sun and the moon to cast a shadow, and that shadow could look, you know, who knows how that shadow could look. I don't know though. I don't know if I don't know. I never saw that as an explanation or anything. I miss you too, Mr. Maya. What's up, bro? Haven't been listening. Keep stacking. Amen. Get married in 9 days. Congrats, brother. Am I an atheist? You know, I was raised Catholic. Come from a Catholic Christian family. I respect the hell out of religion. I am envious of people who have a deep faith and connection. I myself am just not really religious, no. Yeah. I guess I'm just waiting for it to speak to me. Certainly I believe in like the universe, and I believe the universe is like divine in that sense. So maybe I do believe in like, yeah, I don't know. I remember it being hard to see. It was. I haven't seen Project Hail Mary. Maybe I should. DGXX. Rubio interviewing Iran. What? Rubio reviewing Iran war proposal. What did he do with it? I don't know. We're just gonna be at war with them forever. Draft that's coming for our kids. Yeah, I bet it is. Transformer spaceship. Okay. An air balloon. Terminator. Yeah. Between us and the moon. No, Folsom. Not us and the moon. No. Between the sun and the moon. So the sun creates the full moon. The moon reflects the sunlight. So something could be theoretically perfect. Anyway, the margin of error, though, would have to be like insane. It would have to be so precise. But something could, in theory, pass between the sun and the moon in such a way that like it could cast a shadow on the moon. Could be. But it doesn't really explain it because, like I said, you could see this you could see this shadow, this line, before it actually crossed over the moon. It was very weird. I don't know. Please don't blaspheme. Oh, I'm not blaspheming. Like I said, I respect the hell out of religion. I'm just telling you guys my honest, just the way I see it. I'm very envious. I was raised very religious. Maybe it's just like waiting. Maybe it's just not the right time in my life yet. I'm not sure. Why are stocks so special right now? I don't know, man. It's lame. Lame. MU just ripping. Sandisk ripping. SPX ripping. Oil doing nothing. Chilling. Sandisk. Jeez. Has Trump started talking yet? I don't know if he ever stopped talking to that guy. The UFO files being declassified. What effect do you think markets will have? None. Nothing at all. I don't think there's gonna be anything in them at all of any substance that matters. I think they're just a pretty desperate attempt to distract from gas prices hitting crazy highs, disapproval ratings coming out, unpopular war, higher prices, the Epstein files. Like, it's all just a stupid distraction. It's so like pathetic, actually. Raised in a very conservative Baptist family, and you're an atheist. I respect it. You know, like, when it comes to this, whatever you believe, like, I have no qualms about what anyone, like, I think religion is great. I think my real core values is I have seen lots of evil in organized religion. Not saying like every church is evil or something, but like when it becomes organized, man just gets greedy. I think religion, like the religions themselves, like at their core and what they do for people, is amazing. It's humans that are the bad element of it, not the religion. Common ground is love. That's right, baby. I do love. I love. Yep, Nimoy, we see a lot of things the same way, brother. For me, truth is science and facts. I agree. But I don't put it on anyone else to believe the same way I do or see the same way I do. We all believe what we believe for a reason. I believe like that is true. Aliens are buying XRP right now. It's probably the least crazy XRP statement we've heard for a long time. Absolute power, absolute corrupts. Exactly, Venom. Exactly. Aliens getting into our brains. Oh well. Well, we weren't really doing anything with them anyway. We invented ChatGPT so we could stop using them. So might as well like let aliens use them. They'll do good. Hour and 40 minutes. It's probably time to wrap it, boys. It's Friday. Let's go. Let's go party. Let me go party. Actually, I don't know what my plans are. I don't have any specific plans this weekend. But maybe I should. Maybe I should make them. Maybe I should go hit up some friends, see what everybody's doing. Oh, by the way, big announcement. It is Mother's Day Sunday. So whether you have your wife is a mother, and even if you don't, everybody has a mother. Don't forget, do something special for your mom, or for the moms in your life. They don't even have to be your mom. Don't forget that. Don't. I feel like that's a crypto bro thing to do. Is like to forget about Mother's Day. Don't forget about Mother's Day. Treat them. Show them you love them. We owe them. We all owe a woman somewhere down the line for our life. So you know what to do. Sunday, that's correct. Sunday. Mad love. Love you guys. Don't forget to give your mom some of your Bitcoin. Don't do that. Don't do that. She doesn't need it. Give her Bitcoin. If she needs help, you help her. You just help her. She doesn't know what to do with that shit. Don't give it to her. All right, boys. I appreciate tuning in. If you didn't see the beginning of the stream, there's some value there. It wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be, but there was some value there. It's an interesting perspective that I think is worth considering. What if we've been looking at the cycle wrong because we've been looking at the cycle through the lens of the dollar? Maybe the true lens is the lens of gold, or perhaps SPX or something else. If it's gold, maybe the bottom's in. It's interesting thought exercise. All right, we'll be live again on Monday. Unless something crazy happens, then we'll be live again over the weekend. Next week, we're going to be streaming a little more. I think we're going to stream Tuesday. And we're going to try to break into like a 5-day-a-week stream if things continue to get spicy. But I appreciate tuning in. Jump on the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. Sign up with our exchange partners, BYDFi and Femex. Links pinned to the top and in the video description below. No KYC, great exchanges. Partners with us for years. Intel's just still pumping its brains out. My lord. Crazy. All right, guys.